Talk about this further, shall we? Joining me now is the CEO of the think tank 2020 Health, Julia Manning, and Dr. Latifa Patel, who is an A&E doctor in Merseyside, and she's also on the Junior Doctor Committee at the British Medical Association. Ladies, it's great to see you tonight. Julia, of course, we've been talking about the NHS quite frequently recently, and there seems to be dire straits warnings every day. Why is this one more alarming than most, would you say?
Well, I think we've been hearing quite a bit about A&E recently, and this report comes from the Health Select Committee ahead of the government's own report that they've commissioned, which is coming out in the autumn. And there are, I think, about 27 different recommendations that they have made and things that they want to highlight in this report. We feel that there's some really good recommendations that have been made.
But is the warning justified? That they say it's in dire straits, is it?
I don't think it is actually in dire straits, no. What they're talking about is that the target for meeting on seeing people, 95% or more people within 4 hours of attending A&E, isn't being met. But 90% of people still are being seen within 4 hours. So it's not a crisis that you or I would actually recognise. And what we do feel is really important is that we talk to the public more about the way they use A&E, because that is what is omitted in this report.
OK, more on that in a moment. But Dr. Latifa first. Do you agree with Julia that it's not as bad as this report suggests? Because you're at the sharp end. I mean, you're in A&E on a daily basis. What's your personal experience?
I am. So, sorry. I finished work at 2 a.m. last night. I started at 4 p.m. When I started work, the board was full, the waiting room was full. When I left work at 2 a.m., it was still full. So, yeah, we're full, A&E is full, but is it unsustainable? I'm not sure I agree fully with Julia. Sorry.
That's fine.
So, yeah, it's getting to a stage where we are just seeing patients after another. And I think what we really need to be thinking is, why are the patients there? Do all patients need to be in A&E? And what can we do in future to ensure that the patients in A&E are those that need to be there?
And that's one, I know you're nodding in agreement on that note, Julia, and one of the big problems, it seems to be, that patients are more likely to go to A&E than they are to ring up the new NHS helpline, this 111 number. Why is that, do you think?
Well, everyone knows if you go to A&E, you're going to be seen within 4 hours, or most people will be seen within 4 hours. So why wait to see your GP in 2 weeks' time? Why bother going anywhere else where you might be kept waiting? You know you're going to be seen. And I think a lot of inappropriate cases are going to A&E. They shouldn't be there. They shouldn't be filling up your waiting room. And what's really crucial to get across, and again, what's missing from this report, is the public responsibility. I mean, 30% on any average weekday of people who are at A&E because of alcohol. At the weekend, it rises to 70%. We really need to push this back into the public space and say, no, use your services appropriately. Resources are finite. We've got lots of sick people who do need to go to hospital, but most of you should not be put in a position where you have to go.
Or is it perhaps because people really have a lot of faith in A&E and they don't have so much faith in having to wait forever to see their GP? Maybe it's more like that.
Yeah, so I don't agree with the use of the word inappropriate. Yes, some patients may not be well suited for A&E, and that may not be what they need.
What about all the drunk people that come on Saturday night?
Well, we need to look back
frustrating.
We need to look back at, why are they in A&E? Did they try their GP? Was the GP not available?
Well, not on a Saturday night if they've drunk too much.
Well, walk-in centre. Have they tried the walk-in centre? You're right. We are seeing an increase in the number of patients who are coming in due to alcohol-related causes. But we need to look at the root of that. We need to think about patient education. We need to ensure that patients are well informed to look after their own illnesses.
And what about your peers? Because a lot of your peers don't want to work in A&E. It's really hard to find the right doctors at your level and doctors who are far more senior. Why is that? Are there easier jobs around? Is that as basic as it is?
If we're looking at crisis, the biggest crisis the NHS will face, the biggest crisis A&E will face, is recruitment within the next 5 to 10 years.
So why don't they want to work in A&E?
So to take it back personally, I see my consultants, they're working tremendously difficult hours, they're making tremendously difficult decisions. On the back of all this, they've got the political part as well. It's not an attractive
So we need
career.
to pay them more, don't we, and sort out their paying conditions. Do you think the government would do that, Julia?
I don't actually think they will, because the consultant's contract has meant that consultants earn a lot more than they used to, and we can't afford just to go on keep on throwing more money. Well, there's a European Working Time Directive. Actually, no consultant can work more than 48 hours in a week. So,
but Latifa came off shift at what time?
I finished at 2 a.m.
it's a long shift, but overall, through a week, doctors can't work more than a certain number of hours. What we do need to look is the skill mix and make sure that we use doctors' skills appropriately in A&E. And rather than looking at giving more money, I think we need to look at what they're being asked to do. And what's incredibly off-putting is having a whole load of people walking through the door who don't need to be there.
OK, thank you very much, ladies, for joining me tonight.
Thank you.